Hi, this is Tony with All Things Music. So I'm making this video for a friend of mine, Irene Shapes. Follow her on Instagram. She's awesome. This video is going to talk about the differences between different analog tape emulation plugins. So I've got my vocals in solo here, and I've got a number of tape emulation plugins here that I'm going to be processing in parallel. I have Baby Audio Tape. I have Soft Tube Tape. I have the Slate Virtual Tape Machine. I have the Waves Kramer Tape. And I have Waves J37. And for good measure, I might compare Black Box by Plugin Alliance. There's actually a mid-side version, and there's also a non-mid-side version. So let's start off here. We're going to just listen to this without any parallel processing the vocals here in solo. And now we're going to go through the analog tape emulations one by one, or emulation plugins one by one, I should say. So first we're going to have Baby Audio Tape.
Please with slowly against the thread.
FYI, these might be a little bit on the hot side on the input, but that's kind of what I want. Next one is Soft Tube Tape on the C formulation. We might go through these three at some point.
Please with slowly against the thread.
And while we're at it, we'll just go through A as well.
Please with slowly against the thread.
Now we're going to go to the B formulation.
Please with slowly against the thread.
Now we're going to go to this Slate Virtual Tape Machine. There's a number of different formulations, and we'll experiment with both of them.
Please with slowly against the thread.
Now we're going to use the FG9 tape formulation.
Please with slowly against the thread.
And then, just for the fun of it, we're going to use the 2-track emulation feature here, which is actually modeled apparently off of Howie Weinberg's half-inch 2-track tape deck.
Please with slowly against the thread.
And now we're going to use the FG9 formulation.
Please with slowly against the thread.
And I'm going to set this back up the way I found it. And then we're going to go to Kramer Tape.
Please Please whistle against the rain.
Definitely has a personality to it. And finally, J37, also by Waves.
Please whistle against the rain.
All right, so a few things that we're going to look at here. I'm going to just, and you know what? I'm just going to play this through the black box for a moment.
Please whistle against the rain.
And then finally, this one.
Please whistle against the rain.
All right, so listening to these, I'm going to tell you the one I picked on this actual track that's going to be printed soon. So I picked, in this instance, Baby Audio Tape, and I'll tell you why. And I don't use Baby Audio Tape for everything, by the way, when I process in parallel. To me, Baby Audio Tape, in this particular instance, in fact, in a lot of instances, it not only does it sound like tape, but to me, it actually has some of that. It actually feels like tape, like actual analog tape. I'm saying this as someone who has actually recorded on analog tape, like 2-inch analog tape on Studer decks or Studer tape machines.
Please whistle.
It just has this thing that kind of grabs me. Now, that's not to say I'm going to use it on everything. There are instances where, to me, soft tube tape sounds better. In fact, I tend not to use Baby Audio Tape on bass. Don't ask me why. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the sound that I want. On bass. And in fact, it seems like the bass almost seems a little too charismatic, if you will, for lack of a better word, in this instance. But that's in most cases, right? It depends on how the bass is recorded and how it sounds. So most of the time I'm going to be using soft tube tape for bass. But in this instance, for vocals, the formulation that made the most sense for soft tube tape for me was C. We'll run through A, B, and C real quick. Just one thing I want you to listen to is listen to initial transient response as well, and just listen to the initial transient response between some of these, and just listen to some. Try to listen really for the nuances. Now let's go to B.
Please whistle. Please whistle. Please whistle.
So A to me has kind of like this toughness to it. It's confident, I think, is probably the better way to describe it. You know, it's got some solid. It's a bit solid, I think, for another way to for lack of a better word. B, it sounds like a little too watery for me. I mean, listen to that initial transient response on B compared to A. It's got pump, and I feel like I hear a little bit more bass in the transient. Yeah, B to me sounds like someone just dumped the sound underwater. Now C. C to me sounds, in this particular instance with the vocals, sounds more musical to me. So if I only had this one plugin for a analog tape emulation plugin, I would pick C in this case for the vocals. Let's listen to Slate here for a moment. Now, FG9 formulation sounds the best to me. So if I just go through these quickly.
Please with song.
Right? And then if I go back up here to the 16 track, 2-inch, and then FG6, sorry, 456 formulation. Based on the old quantity, I want to say, I think they're quantity tapes, 456 and the 9.
Please with
Now the FG9. Listen how, so the 2-track is a little bit more bass emphasis on the low end, or more emphasis on the low end, sorry. The FG9, you know, there's not a lot of sleep products that I use. They just don't have the sound that I'm looking for. To me, the 16 track, 2-inch 16 track, and the 456, it doesn't sound expensive to me. Sorry, no offense, but it just doesn't. But there's charisma though. You have some added charisma, for lack of a better word, when you go to the FG9 formulation. I actually kind of like this.
Please with song.
The 16 track though, compared to the 2-track, sounds a little thin. Listen to the 2-track now in FG9.
Please with song. Against the grain.
So it's got some charisma to it. It's not bad. I like it. The other settings outside of FG9, I don't know. Actually, the 16 track FG9 with FG9 formulation isn't bad. So, but to me, 16 track, 2-inch 16 track FG 456 sounds. I don't like it. That's just does not sound expensive to me. This isn't bad in this case. So let's listen to Kramer Tape. You're gonna, if you probably listen to it, if you go back and listen to it, it sounds a little bit washed out. But look, they're emulating an old analog tape machine. See?
Please with song against.
It does something to the mids. It sounds a little washed out, but look, they're emulating an older tape machine, and that might be the vibe that you're looking for. In this particular instance, for this song, it just didn't seem to fit in the direction I wanted the song to move in. J37 is going to change a bit compared to the Kramer Tape. We can compare the two as well.
Please with song against the breathing as
Hear how the EQ curve changes. So Kramer Tape a little bit washed out. J37 it's more polished. It has a little bit of that charisma too. Not as much as I think Baby Audio Tape, or at least, and that's again I'm using that because it's a lack for a better word.
please with song against the grain.
I gotta say, I love this plugin, Baby Audio Tape. They've done a spectacular job, the folks over at Baby Audio. And I tell people this, to me, it doesn't just sound like analog, it feels like analog. For those of us who grew up before the digital era, listen to vinyl, you listen to analog tape. It's got this grab, it just kind of grabs you emotionally in a way that digital has a tough time doing. But with with advances in technology, and just how they're modeling things these days, the plugins are getting better and better. It used to be a war, analog versus digital, and there's not really that discussion anymore that we had, 20, years ago. 50, maybe up to an extent 15 years ago. I would say at least 20 years ago. But I remember 20 years ago talking to people, and you had some guy who were like, I'm a diehard analog guy, and I got it, but plugins that are out now, what they're doing with the technology, it's great. And Baby Audio, I think they hit it out of the park with this plugin. So if you're looking at, maybe trying a new plugin for a tape saturation or a tape emulation plugin, definitely check out Baby Audio. And the great thing about it too is it's pretty affordable. You're not going to pay a few $100s for something like this. So anyways, check it out. I'm going to play this passage for you in context. I might need to lower this because I think I raised it. I forgot if I raised it or not. But Alright, and that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and of course, share this video with your friends, any of your colleagues, any other audio engineers you might know. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.